One. Hello and welcome, everyone. Oh, I'm getting a big record. Hold. That's me. Hello, and welcome everyone to Explorers of Elsewhere Live. My name is DM Dan, and we are joined here tonight by four beautiful creatures and a host of somewhat less beautiful creatures. We'll get to those in a bit. But hi, welcome if you are joining us for the first time. Thank you for joining us. Let's do a quick introduction just in case you've accidentally stumbled into this live stream and you have zero idea of what's going on. Hi, my name is DM Dan. This is Explorers of Elsewhere. We are a UK-based inclusive TTRPG channel. At the moment, we're playing through some Daggerheart campaigns, but we've played through loads of stuff in the past that you should absolutely check out if you haven't already. What is it that we're doing here tonight? We are here to celebrate a little Kickstarter for a little podcast called the Holmwood Foundation. The Holmwood Foundation is the brainchild of at least two people. One of them is on screen. Hi, Theo.
Hello. Hi, everyone.
Who are you?
Who am I? I am the co-creator of the Holmwood Foundation, so technically I'm the co-writer / co-producer, along with my partner Georgia Cook, who is not here this evening, but I am here representing the Holmwood Towers, as it were. The Holmwood Foundation is a horror. I'm going to get it right because I should know this by heart by now. It's a horror fiction audio drama / fiction podcast, found footage designed to be a sequel to the novel Dracula, and everyone here today has been involved in said podcast, which is why we have done this little rendezvous. But yes, that is me. I will let Dan take over.
Amazing. In this podcast there are a slew of amazing characters, one of which is a plucky young lad called Thomas Van Helsing, who happens to be voiced by Basil right here.
He does, and I'm still made up that I get to play him. He's so much fun. He's so well written, and he's a dream to play. So yeah, I'm having a great time. I want to play him again. Hint, hint, hint.
Yes. Yeah, please don't kill the character, Theo. Yeah. Please. Basil, this is your first time playing in the TTRPG.
It is, yeah. I said I've sat next to someone who was playing one previously, but I've never actually taken part myself, so I'm expecting an imminent death, but I'm going to go out in a blaze of glory.
Amazing. Another amazing character in the show is Magdalena Swift, who is a literal powerhouse through the first season, and Magdalena is voiced by Candice.
Hello, hi. My name is Candice. If you know me from the podcasting community, you know me as Candice McAfee. If you know me from TTRPGs, you know me as Candice the Magnificent. I am 1/4 of 3 black halflings, and I am all over the space. Thank you so much for having me.
No worries. Thank you for joining us. And last but not least, so Basil's character, Candice's character are made sound awesome, and that is arguably primarily down to Benji down there in our bottom corner.
Oh, hello there. Thank you so much for having me. It's an absolute joy to be here. It's so nice as well. Can I just say, it's so nice to see everybody's faces here, because when you're a sound designer and that's mixing all the sounds and putting it all together and recording it, you hear everybody's voices all day long, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So it's really nice to see everybody. But no, very much looking forward to tonight's bit of fun.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and tonight hopefully will be fun for you, the viewers, over on YouTube and Twitch. Thank you once again for joining us. It may be slightly less fun for the players because they will be running from mortal peril, but that's, I think if we're all fans of horror, there's a small part of us that's a bit of a fan of Schadenfreude. So yeah, hopefully we can deliver that in spades. What are we doing tonight? We are playing a little TTRPG that we've kind of created, bespoke for this stream. Holmwood Foundation Containment Breach. So The system itself is based off of John Harper's Lasers and Feelings, which is a lovely little sort of like one-page RPG. If you haven't played that, you should definitely give it a go, because it's just good fun. And this adventure, I say adventure, I use that term very lightly, this moment in time sees 4 staff members of the Holmwood Foundation attempting to escape the fated Lucy Westenra building on a particular evening. I think it's the 7th of June, when... So for those of you who've seen the podcast would know Happy is right at the start of the first season. Yes, there's going to be some drama. There's going to be some tension. There's going to be some stress. There may be some chuckles along the way, but we will see. If you're interested in the rules, they will be hosted on the Holmwood Foundation's Discord. And I mean, this whole thing, as it is in celebration of the Holmwood Foundation's second season Kickstarter. So we've got our bots in chat kind of directing you over to the Kickstarters periodically. The Kickstarter's been live just over 2
days. So
over 2 days, and you're already storming through it. So yeah, any sort of additional support for the Kickstarter that we can generate for tonight will be absolutely grand. And there are some really fun ways to generate some cash for the Kickstarter. Throughout this session, there will be prescribed kind of donations or tips that you can donate. So there is a Just Giving link that's popping up in chat now as we speak. And you can see what your hard-earned pennies and dimes can do to influence the game. So £5 will allow the next will force the next successful roll to be re-rolled. A £10 donation will allow the next failed roll to be re-rolled. If someone donates £20, then our survivors here will discover some Foundation supplies. And for £40, a hunt begins. And we'll get into that in a little bit. As you may see, right above my head, someone has already blessed us with £40. So I'm just gonna keep that one in the tank, and I'm gonna drop it at the most opportune moment I can. So yeah, this is pretty much it. We'll do a real quick whip round. Should we do a real quick whip round? No, let's introduce our characters in the moment. Because I think it's time that we start things off. So, we find 4 individuals. They may be strangers to each other, they may not, in a dark, dimly lit room, lit only by a flickering screen projected onto the far wall. On screen is a handsome brunette man with his first 2 buttons of his shirt undone, and his, quite notably, the skin seemingly sparkles. And the camera pans round to a close-up of the lady protagonist as he says, "This is the skin of a killer, Bella."
Mm-hmm.
And there are some subsequent follow-on extreme close-ups of faces and slow, heavy breathing from Bella mainly. And the rest of the film Twilight continues to play on through this film club on the -6th floor of the Lucy Westenra building in Whitby. Who is sat closest to the projector? Who is the most enthralled in this vampire saga of the ages that is playing out in front of them?
I think Sophie.
Okay.
is sitting way too close to the projection screen. You see a very petite, maybe 5'2" sized person. I don't know what that is in the UK equivalent. This big. You see
My
a
height.
person of petite size. Very kind of gangly and awkward limbs, like her legs seem very long for someone who was so short. And she is scrunched up kind of in like a weird like huddle, like a squat, with like a paper and pencil in front of her, and she's kind of looking up at the screen. Her black features are being lit by the reflection on this projector. She has a very pretty face, but you wouldn't know that under the incredible snarl of hair that's kind of all over her head, big kinky curly hair held back by a headband that threatens to snap at any moment. She has thick Coke bottle glasses on, and she's muttering to herself, "Oh my goodness, diamond skin. That's ridiculous, but wouldn't that be really cool? Maybe we can make a hybrid," and starts jotting down all kinds of ideas as to how to bring this to life.
Amazing. And for our audience, why is Sophie in this room right now? Like, what role does Sophie have?
She's a member of the movie club at Holmwood. There is a film club where we all kind of get together to blow off steam. Her occupation, though, is a chemist. She likes doing all kinds of experiments in the lab. She's like a lab tech kind of person. She is not high up on the food chain, but she is working really, really hard to get there. They are determined, and you can tell that there is a sense of determination about them as they kind of continue to obsess over this movie. Other notes are Kristen Stewart, gay ? Maybe. We can hope.
We can only hope.
Pattinson,
amazing.
Strangely attractive.
So, who is sat behind Sophie in this room? No one. It's just you, Sophie.
I mean, she's weird. That makes sense. That checks out. I don't blame you.
Well, okay. Tell you what. Let's look at this way. Where do we find Roger?
Roger would be right in the corner of the room, the furthest corner he can get himself. He's, I'd say he's probably in his late 50s and 60s. He's quite a small man, with an aging man with whitish hair and a little moustache and small little rimmed glasses. And what you'll notice from him, well, he hopes you don't notice, is he's not actually watching the film. He's actually got a book in his hands, and he's sitting there just passing the time, because Roger, he's quite a reclusive chap. He spends a lot of time in the office, and for him, this is the latest possible function that still goes on publicly, at least in his eyes, in the Foundation. He doesn't want to see the film. He just wants to stay in the building. So he's just very happy. Just yes, yes. And if anybody does look his way, he kind of looks up. Yes, very good, very good.
Amazing. Okay, so we have Roger. Where is Will situated?
So Will is right at the very back of the cinema, like right in the middle of the back. He's an intern. He doesn't really want to be having this job, but he's come here because he's single and is hoping to meet some other young folks at the film club, because he's like in his early 20s, and most people who work here seem a lot older, and he's just like, well, surely they're going to go and watch Twilight. So he's at the back, probably on his phone, probably scrolling Tinder and stuff, just occasionally engaging, just having a quick check if anyone else is going to come in. But so far, no luck.
Fair enough. So, I mean, on a scale of 1 to 10, how excited or disappointed is Will with the turnout of tonight's film club?
I mean, it's probably going to be a minus figures for him currently. Okay. He hasn't actually seen who's in the building yet. He can just see Roger in the corner, and it's like, oh no, everyone's like this. You can just see a lot of backs of heads at the moment. So, yeah, maybe his luck will turn up.
And last but not least, then, where is Ernie in the film club? in the screening archive?
I feel like Ernie is sat in the middle back, so not as far back as Will, but not quite in the corner as Rogers. This is a man who doesn't look like someone who enjoys films. He's quite a small man, I'd say, in his late 40s, quite rough around the edges, wearing like a caretaker's coat. But at some point during film club, he always ends up in the room and he always stays to watch the film. And then he always leaves very quietly. So yeah, this is kind of for the course. If anyone has attended film club regularly, they would know that Ernie comes in, he sits down, usually in the middle of the film, probably doesn't know what happened at the beginning, and he will then leave, usually at the end or sometimes before the end. We don't know yet with Twilight. But yeah, that is what you get. He's not got a lot of hair, wearing quite a tattered, as I said, caretaker's coat and cardigan. But yes, does seem very intent. He is watching the film.
Okay.
This is for sure.
Okay, amazing. So we have the 4 figures sat in the room. To kind of quickly take a step back and explain how this is going to kind of pan out, you'll see on screen that everyone has a little green heart with a number in it. So as part of character creation, these characters have chosen a number which is their sole stat. The number dictates where they personally fall on a spectrum of Holmwood to heart. Someone who's more affiliated with Holmwood might be more comfortable being logical, reasonable, calculated, scientific, whereas someone who's more affiliated with heart might be more personable or empathetic or a tearaway, like an individual. And as we go through the events of tonight's session, whenever we're expected to roll, the roll will either be a Holmwood roll or a heart roll, which will see our players trying to roll either above or below their number. If they roll their number successfully, if they roll above or below, that is a success. There will be certain things that will allow additional dice to be rolled. If the roll is the number, then something happens. There is a development that is usually going to be both good and bad, because we love complex complications. And yes, based off the descriptions you've just heard, if all of our players have 3 statements that kind of define them as people, and if any of those 3 statements will apply to a situation in a positive way, then they'll get extra dice. You'll also notice that just down here, there, we have a dread timer. Don't worry about the dread timer. It's going to tick up every so often, but you don't have to worry about it. There's nothing bad will come of the dread timer ticking up. So, with that in mind, we find the 4 of you illuminated by a long still shot of a close-up of Kirsten Stewart. And the only sounds are of Kirsten's heavy breathing, the sound of the kind of the clacking sound from the projector displaying the film. It's an old analog style projector. Obviously, this is the Holmwood Foundation. This is the Lucy Westenra building. Everything's a bit old and crotchety here. And yeah, the air around you smells surprisingly kind of homely, musty, in comparison to everywhere else on the -6th floor, which is far underground. There's that clinical recycled air smell. And just as Edward leans in to kiss Bella, an alarm begins to ring. And it's quiet at first, seemingly far away. But as the sound of the alarm gets louder as it seemingly gets, almost as if it's moving closer and closer to the room. The lights cut, and the four of you are plunged into darkness. And then a few moments later, they come back to life, tinged with a blood red. And over the tannoys, you hear a familiar voice that you hear in all Holmwood announcements. Attention, all staff. A containment breach has been detected. Please follow containment breach protocol as per your employee handbooks. This is not a drill. I repeat, this is not a drill.
They said that the last time there was a drill. Right.
They did, but it's really important that we are on the ball, you know? Hold on a second. Sophie pulls out the employee handbook and a small flashlight attached to her keychain and kind of shuffles through the pages. Okay, so we need to remain calm. Check. Okay. We have exactly 5 minutes to evacuate the facility before the building fail-safe measure is deployed. So let's all just make our way in a line like little ducks and get out of here. It's fine. Everything's okay.
I was going to say what she said, but she said it, so I'm not going to say it again. That's great. It's so nice that people understand the rules around here. We should go. We come on. Let's go. We should go. Even you, young man. Come on. We gotta go.
This is. I've not even read the handbook. This isn't.
You haven't read your handbook?
Not yet. I was gonna at some point.
Oh, that's. Are you
like
a renegade?
You've got one anyway. So I just sort of follow you guys, I guess.
The alarm is going off, guys. We gotta go. We gotta go.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay.
Oh, I hope the elevators work. My knees are awful.
Who is leading this charge to the door? Like, who's at the front? Is it Ernie leading, or Sophie? Are you bolting
I'm
ahead?
curious. It might be Sophie at this point. I think she's quicker.
The second that you're like, somebody gets it, Sophie looks to you with like big stars in her eyes and like just stands by the door waiting for you.
Nice. I'm going first then.
Okay. In which case, Ernie, as you get to the door and you kind of go to pull the handle, the door appears to be locked, and I will increase the dread timer.
I don't think that's not.
That's not a good sound. Hang on. I should have a key. Can I use your flashlight, please? It's not very bright in here.
Of course. She detaches it from the keychain and hands it to you. I
Can
think there's bunkers, right? Is that the next move?
Yeah. Let's not worry about that. We're gonna get out of here. I just want to check my. And I've as a caretaker, I've got these like massive ring of keys, but they're like massive ring of keys. So I'm slowly having to try and figure out which key it might be. Just looking at the door, looking at the key, trying to like figure out which one it might be. I've got a couple. I'll try.
Who's Roger? As you see Ernie kind of leafing through these keys, your attention glances to the door, like just under the handle where Ernie's was futilely trying to open it, and it dawns on you that there is no keyhole, and instead your eyesight tracks up to see the magnetic lock further up the door frame that appears to be holding the door shut. The magnetic lock looks new, perhaps the newest thing in this room, bar maybe Will. And it would seem that in the event of an emergency where magnetic locks would release, this one is not.
Okay, so Rog looks up and he's watching this sort of pantomime occur as Ernie sort of go rifling through these keys, and he's just having, you could, if you were to look at him, you could see the cogs going round around in his, well, you can't really look at him because it's incredibly dark in the room. And he heads over and he says, yes, slight problem, I'm afraid. It looks like those damn people have been fitting new things in this place again. I warn them, every time they bring these expensive new gadgets into this place, things go wrong. Look, there's that confounded metallic magnetic device up there seems to be broken. I say, you're a caretaker. Can't you whack it or something?
So first of all, Ernie's going to swear very loudly. I will not use my I'll not use my F-bomb here, but he certainly does. Starts cursing management very loudly as he tries to figure out. It's like, I don't know who I'm bloody blaming for that. Gonna file a complaint when I get out of here. I wasn't told nothing. And he's gonna figure out magnetic. Gonna see if he's got anything on him to help with the magnetic lock. Can I roll for assistance here?
You may indeed. Sorry, run that by me again. You're looking to.
I'm looking to see if I have anything like in my pockets or a tool that I could use to open the lock on my end. Whether it's like a card I can like step through to break the magnetic or something.
I would say because it sounds like what you're rummaging for is not Holmwood protocol equipment. So I think this is gonna be a heart roll.
Okay.
So to successfully make a heart roll, you need to roll over your number.
Oh good. Oh good. I'm glad my number's 5. If it's a 6, I'll be really surprised. So okay, so D6 then.
Yes. So if anyone wants to help, please explain how you want to help. And additionally, Ernie, if you have any of your statements that you feel will apply in a positive way to this check.
I mean, I am a caretaker, so I'd assume that I do have bits and pieces on me that would be useful.
Yeah. No,
so
100%.
So I could add another D6, is that right?
Yeah, so you're up to 2d6. Is anyone helping? Or are we all doing is everyone doing the very British thing of just kind of standing? Oh, go, Sophie, go.
Sophie is an expat, so super American, but the nice kind, and is like, oh my god, you are the keeper of this building. There's nothing you can't do. So I would like to offer you really good vibes.
I love that for him. I mean, no one does that for him usually. Right.
Okay, so Sophie has decided to help you. So you'll get an extra dice.
Okay.
Sorry, bring on helping. So Sophie, I need you to roll me. So you're helping by giving good vibes. Mm-hmm. So I need you to quickly make me a heart roll. If you succeed, then Ernie gets the extra dice.
Okay, so 1d6 over my 4.
Correct. Yeah. And if you roll a 4, then it's a... Oh,
oh no.
I got a 1.
Okay. So, yes, that has not quite gone to plan. There we go. So, Sophie, as you sort of like give Ernie this encouragement, I can only imagine you are met with this stony-faced...
This confusion of like, this isn't the British way. This isn't... yeah.
So, unfortunately, in this moment, yes, Ernie, you're on 2 dice.
Okay, cool. Right, let's roll 2 dice. Let's find out. I mean, they're both so 5 is my number. 1 is obviously below. I assume that means it's below.
No, so we take you choose which result you want. So presumably you'll want the 5 because that will be a success just with the development.
Okay, success with the development. That's good. Okay. Let's do that.
Well, tell me what it is you find specifically that like helps you get out.
Just trying to think. I do, because if it's a magnetic lock, is there something I can like slide in to kind of separate the magnetism? Like a plastic, like, I don't know, something as weird as even using my ID cards to kind of separate the magnetism, or that might work.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, yeah, you certainly, like, you're able to, I think you try the ID card. this is the development. You try the ID card, and you struggle to sort of like get the ID card in for a while, and the three of you are just kind of stood around Ernie, perhaps just inching closer and closer by the moment as he's almost trying to file his way through this maglock, until eventually you manage to slide it in, and there's like it gives just enough give that between the four of you, you're able to then all hands on the handle, 1 foot on the wall to just about break the magnetic's grip on the door, and the four of you are all flung back as the door suddenly gives. And like the four of you sprawled across the floor, clattering through the rows of chairs for Film Club. But the door kind of swings open, slams into the wall, and stays open. It's taking you a little while to get the door open, but the door is open. Outside, as you kind of peer out into the corridor, looking left and right, let's say the lights are. All the strip lighting is on, but it's tinged with this kind of flashing red alarm. And you can... The corridors sound relatively quiet. It sounds as if everyone else who might have been on this floor is already evacuated. There's not that many staff here, given that it's kind of post-working hours. But yeah, it seems like the corridor is yours. Which route are you taking up? There are elevators or stairs?
You should be using the stairs in an alarm. Should be. But we can see if the elevators
I mean, if they're
working.
working, surely you want to save your legs, don't you?
Yeah. No.
It's an awfully long way up that way.
Yeah. I imagine which way are the stairs and the elevators in different directions, Dan? Is that what's gonna...
Let's say yes.
Well, I'm gonna head towards the stairs. That's my intention, is to head towards the stairs. It says the stairs in the handbook. You just never know, right? Electrics in this building are weird. You have been in this building long enough to know the electrics are weird. I say this with experience. Safer to take the stairs, no matter what.
I remember it was Frank who said at one point, he said that the only reason they tell you to go to the stairs is because all the important people want to go to the elevators and get out first. However, given the fact that we had that business with the door, I'll go to the stairs with you.
Alright, if the old timer can do it, I'll do it. I'll go with you.
Old timer? Really?
What are you, like 80? 80 years old?
Please no. With this skin, I don't think so. Anyway, let's not dilly-dally.
Okay.
Sophie walks through the door and passes Ernie and just whispers, "See? Leadership material."
Let's go.
As you begin making your... Sorry, you're heading to the stairs, yes?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So as you begin heading towards the stairs, the only kind of sound accompanying your journey is that of the constant blaring of the alarm and the repeated tannoy announcement, "A containment breach has been detected." And then, as you reach the bottom of the stairs, and it's the layout of the Lucy Westenra building, it's a long, kind of narrow stairwell up through quite a large amount of earth before you reach floor -5. As you get to the door of the stairwell, you hear what sound like running footsteps, like someone running down the other end of the corridor from whence you've just came, like beyond the entrance to the film club door. And in the flashing lights, you see this like silhouette kind of emerge from around a corner and stop and look at you. What's Will doing?
At the moment, he's seeing if he's got any signal on his phone. Because he's not actually sure what's happening, what floor he's on. He's just seeing what's going on in the outside world.
Sure.
So he's frantically trying to get a signal. Obviously, there isn't any.
It would seem that you've lost signal. The Wi-Fi's cut.
Yeah.
Emergency services only.
Yeah. So I think he's just fuming and just put his phone away and he's just like turned around to look down the corridor because he's at the back of the group, just traipsing behind these three like Chuckle brothers that he's following.
In which case, as you sort of like look up from your phone and turn your head, you see at the far end this slim figure, perhaps a potential date prospect. But the figure takes a step forward and then another step forward. And the head does not shift its attention from you. And you watch as the figure lowers seemingly into almost a crouch. And from the other end of the corridor, there is a deafening and the creature bursts into a sprint towards you. We are moving to code red. You're moving to code red as this creature pounds down the corridor towards you. What do you do?
Apart from giving me a heart attack, Dan.
Bravo.
You're at the front of the pack. What do you do, Sophie?
Sophie just kind of reaches an arm back to feel for Ernie and grabs the flashlight out of his hand and immediately brandishes it, like turns the light on. The handbook says that they're sensitive to light. So she's in action. She's like there, like legs spread, like defensive stance.
Okay. This thing, let's say, is hurtling towards you. Sophie, as you drop into a defensive pose, what's Roger doing?
Roger. So one of Roger's, I suppose, one of his traits is that he treats his research subjects as though they're his friends. So he is familiar with not all of them, but certainly some of them. Would this be a moment for Rog to perhaps just see if he can identify who this? We're talking in these milliseconds of him looking, seeing this creature, and thinking, "Oh my God, is that?"
I know you from work.
Yes, could that be Lucy? In that moment.
Roll me a Holmwood roll. So you need to roll under your number.
Okay, so he was a 3. He's right in the middle. So we'll give it a D6 and see. Oh.
Okay. It is in fact Lucy. And in this moment, you consider some of the assets held within the Lucy Westenra building's lower floors to be friends, but in this moment, do you find yourself still considering her a friend when she's free?
Absolutely not. I think he would have interacted with her in a low-key, tranquil environment. However, this is I don't think. I think at this moment he's like, run away! It's Lucy! Run away! Come on!
So, Roger, as you sort of like break into this stairwell and begin your frantic sprint up, what's Ernie? As you see Roger kind of bolt past you, you turn and sort of like you watch as Ernie goes. Sorry, you watch as Roger goes past, and when you turn back, you watch Lucy. It would seem, sort of like almost galloping down the corridor on all fours. There is a moment. You can see that there's a like a stack of. Well, like a trolley cart that's been tipped over, and you watch as Lucy jumps up onto like almost kind of wall runs for a few moments to vault over it as she continues her sprint towards you. She screeches as she barrels down towards you. She is due to be immediately on top of you. I've dropped the dread timer. What do you do?
So has Sophie shown the light in the creature's face?
So Sophie, you've got your torchlight ready, haven't you?
Yeah.
Okay. I will. So actually, yeah. Let's switch back. So, Sophie, as this thrall gets to within sort of like optimal range, you are following the protocol of your employee book quite closely. So yes, can I please have a Holmwood roll? As you sort of like you use your ready action. So if please roll under your number.
I got a 5.
Okay.
Sophie stands there, feet planted. You can see the light kind of shaking as her whole body is shaking. And they say, "Listen here, ma'am, you should calm down. This is not appropriate behavior. We are a part of something bigger than all of us. And we need to believe right now that we can all be our best selves."
So, okay, so Lucy has sort of like gotten up to you, flashed her in the eyes, and this thrall has just hidden its her face, like her massive dilated pupilled eyes, just sort of like holding her hands up to block the light of the UV light from your flashlight. And then as you start sort of like just kind of bargaining with this thrall, you see her just sort of like she reaches out and with a large sweep of her hand, she attempts to rake across your torso. I'm going to need a heart roll to see if you can jump out the way.
Can I assist, please, this time as
you
well?
You can. How are you assisting?
Ernie, because obviously he hasn't had a go yet, was planning on basically picking Sophie up and out of the way. That was his plan. Because whilst he's like seemingly hidden under this caretaker's outfit, he's actually very well built. He's very like well toned.
Mm-hmm.
This was not his only job for the Holmwood Foundation. So as his instincts kick in, so as this happens, the help would be that he would pick her up out of the way.
Okay.
And to get her to safety.
Okay. So Ernie, I need you to roll me a heart check, please.
Okay, so that'd be over my number. Okay, yeah. Cool.
So you need a 6 to succeed, or a 5 will get you a development.
Could I argue that because I used to be a security officer, I could get another D6?
Yes.
Thank you. All right, I'm going to roll. I'm going to see if that worked. No, got 2 2s. So that I tried.
Okay. Sophie, you're going. So Ernie's grabbed you, but perhaps his old frail frame is both a boon and a hindrance. So please roll me a heart roll.
Heart is roll over or under?
Over.
Oh my god. These dice do not like me today. That's okay.
So as Ernie sort of like bodies you to try and get you out the way, perhaps the panic of being grappled by the caretaker immediately sort of like to your left that might be what kind of freezes you in spot for a moment. But the claw swings out, and whilst it was aimed at your torso, with these kind of sharp talon-like claws emerging from her fingertips. Thank you, Nate. We have a reroll failure for the next failure, and they're coming thick and fast. So yeah, this is well done. Yeah, as this claw reaches out, Ernie, as you try to help get Sophie out the way, the claw does not hit Sophie because Ernie, your arm is in the way first. So there you hear the sound of flesh tearing as this thrall's claw bites deep into your arm, like near your elbow, Ernie, and scrapes all the way up your upper arm and then slightly onto your back. And there's 4 bloody streaks splatter against the wall. The force, however, knocks the 2 of you through the doorway that Roger's bolted. Will, are you GTFOing as well, or?
Yeah, I think the minute he heard the thing, he was like at the door, up this staircase, just listening at the point to see what was going on.
Okay, in which case, so Will, you've bolted as well, and you've turned around just to see Ernie try to grab Sophie and then kind of take a slash from the thrall. That knocks the 2 of them through the door. And as the thrall sort of drops into a low crouch, blood dripping from her fingertips, as she looks up to you, and the flashlight's kind of not shining on her, so she's just being illuminated by the red lights. You can see her face is twisted into a vision of rage, and as she lets out the security door to the stairwell slams shut, and we move out of code purple. We move out of code red.
Can Roger at this point turn to everybody in a sort of slightly, he's had a little bit more time than them to just hide himself in the room, turns around and says, firstly, I want to apologize for running away. It's just, she is a particularly nasty woman when she gets aggravated, and let's just put it this way, it's very lucky to have that security door there now.
Perhaps, Ernie, you do not feel quite as lucky, as you are now wounded.
Mm-hmm. Wounded.
So you're in a wounded state. Okay. With the Will, what do you make of everything that's just happened? This thrall, the doors slam shut. You can hear the sounds of the heavy panic breathing from the other 3 that you're with. But every so often you can hear the boom, 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 boom against the heavy security door from Lucy the thrall kind of pounding on it from the other side. And every so often there's...
Okay, so one of Will's traits is that he doesn't believe in the undead and that vampires are real. So he's just taking this job at this boring science place, and is assuming that all this vampire stuff is just, it's made up. So at this point, I'm assuming, he's having a bit of a panic, and is probably retching a little bit from what Ernie's just been through because he's a little bit sensitive.
Okay.
And it's just what kind of Scooby-Doo nonsense is this? What kind of weird prank is happening right now, because this isn't fun anymore? What kind of weird prosthetics are going on, and how on earth did they make that noise? Because that was some pretty good special effects. Yeah.
Sophie, how are you feeling? Sort of sandwiched, pressed under Ernie as he's kind of collapsed on top of you.
Feeling like a little pig in a blanket, but in a positive way. I'm not scratched, but I think there's a certain amount of guilt that is welling inside of her right now. They tried to be their best Holmwood self, and now someone is hurt because of it, and so their confidence is wavering a little bit in this.
I think Ernie is trying to take it in his stride. He's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, kiddo, sorry," and he gets up and he takes off his caretaker coat, and you can kind of he now he's not wearing his coat, he's giving army. It's the only vibe I can probably he's giving army a bit. as he takes off the coat, and you can see he's got tattoos, and he's also got old scratches and what looks to be sort of war wounds. But he seems to take. He's like, it's fine. This isn't my first rodeo. It's fine. It's gonna be all right. It's gonna be all right. Whether that's him to you guys or to himself, we will never know. So yeah, he's like, we just gotta get out of the building. Also, 1 second, mate. You calling her Lucy? They don't have names.
No.
Are you? Did you give her a name? That's a bit twisted. That was Mina's friend's name. Why would you call? What's going on? They don't have names.
They've got names. They're people. They may look slightly aggressive. We may think and study them and appreciate that they might be vampires, but that doesn't mean they're not people.
Vampires?
You have to treat them with respect. They're the dead.
I know, but did you name her? Because she doesn't have a name. Like, none of these things have names when they arrive here.
I can only imagine Will and Sophie just stood watching these two bicker at the bottom of this stairwell. And then the whole thing being interrupted with, "Attention all staff. A containment breach has been detected. Please evacuate as per the containment breach protocol from your employee handbook. This is not a drill."
Enough of this. Upstairs. Go upstairs. Yes.
Okay. The four of you begin climbing up a large set of spiral staircases is never fun at the best of times. Less so when there is an alarm blaring in your ears. But as you get to the top of the stairwell and continue on through the research lab levels, so levels -5, -4, -3, you soon emerge out onto level -1, in the sort of like the office area of the Lucy Westenra building. And as you sort of like hurry across the first floor, or the minus first floor, as you go to, as you're approaching the final the security door that leads to the stairwell that leads up to the ground floor, the alarm stops for a moment. "Attention all staff. Containment breach. The containment breach escaped. Attention all staff. Please seek shelter immediately. The containment breach self-detonation protocol has now begun."
Wait, what? Why do we have that?
Please seek safety in your nearest emergency bunker. This is not a drill.
Okay.
And the door ahead of you, you hear boom, 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 as deadlocks fire into the door and lock it shut.
This isn't in the handbook.
No, it's not. We need to get to one of the bunkers quickly.
So I would say between Ernie and Sophie, you are both Holmwood orientated enough that you know that scattered like on every floor, beneath the ground floor, there are emergency security bunkers that you can take shelter in the event of a containment breach. They do require security access to get into them, usually via key cards. Certain staff members will have key cards. You are currently on floor -1. You know that the facility director's office is on this floor.
Look, I don't think I have the right clearance. if we go into the director's office, we should be able to find something. He might even still be here, which would be really fucking funny, actually. So we should go bother him and get his key card. Yeah.
As you realise you are locked in, I would increase the dread timer. Are we all in agreement? Heading to facility director's office?
I don't
Sophie-
think we've got much of a choice.
Sophie chatters just very quietly. It feels like it's a nervous tick. But she's kind of going on about, your arm looks really bad. I am so sorry. When we get to the office, I always have a first aid kit on me. I will dress your wounds and all will be well. You'll be okay. You don't have to be like one of those. We'll keep you safe, right? Right? And she looks at the other two. Right?
What do you mean, be one of those?
Well, the vampire bites. Weren't you watching the movie?
He's going to become sparkly. I mean, that's fair. That's quite fun.
I you know what? I have a lot of patience for people who are new. So,
Thank you. That's really nice.
of course.
Yeah.
We rejoin the four of you as you approach the office, sort of tucked away on one far side of floor -1. On the door is a name, like a brass name plate that says Jeremy Larkin, Facility Director.
Barging in.
Okay.
I'm not knocking.
As you barge in, the first thing you are presented with is a gratuitously large portrait of an elderly man. Perhaps not Will, but certainly everyone else. You immediately recognize this man to be the founder, like the current CEO of the foundation, Jonathan Harker III. Watching over this room, seemingly in an imperious kind of way. In the center of the office is a desk that is surprisingly clear, surprisingly uncluttered, everything just seems. The office looks relatively well lived in, but there's something slightly off about it. Sophie, you notice that this is certainly not filled with foundation approved paraphernalia and the sort. If anything, this office looks like it's doing everything it can to not be protocol friendly or protocol adherent. But yes, you find yourselves in
Whatever they want, but
you find yourself in the facility director's office. What do you do?
Sophie immediately starts poking around in people's stuff.
Okay.
Let Sophie do what they want. Let's go.
Sophie, where is it you're looking first? To say there's a desk in the center. There are sort of like drawers, cabinets.
Is there anything that looks obviously like contraband, like it really should not be in here?
Tell you what, I reckon there is, and you can tell me what it is.
Okay. I think there is an experimental spray that was clearly taken from like the lab unit. That's like an allium-based spray that they're
Okay.
testing.
Yeah. Sure. Yes. Okay. So, whereabouts is it you find that?
It is because it is such a specific item.
Uh-huh.
I am going to put it out of my reach. It's like 6 feet in a cabinet. Like it's like way tall, way too high for her to get her fingers on. But she sees it and she calls attention to it to everyone else.
Sure. Okay, so yes, there is. Yeah, you see that there's this. Fundamentally, it's a spray bottle with with sort of like the Holmwood logo on it, and then sort of like in bold text underneath Allium. And you can see that there's a bit of sort of like paper wrapped around it, like held on by a rubber band. And yeah, let's say it's at the top shelf of this cabinet. Who's going to reach for it?
I mean, I feel like Will would just be dragging a chair over.
Sure,
Dragging
okay.
this big fancy chair over.
So, Will, as you kind of drag this chair over and you sort of like get up to height to grab this alien bottle, you notice that sort of like tucked or pushed or seemingly out of sight, like out of eyesight, there is a stash of like empty, dirty coffee mugs that have just been stashed up on this shelf. So rather than just take it to the kitchens at the other end of the floor, it would seem that the facility director has just been hoarding these Holmwood Foundation branded mugs out of eyesight. But yeah, you reach up in. Yeah, you now have this this bottle of like allium of garlic juice. Where's Roger looking?
Roger's he's keeping his eye on the door first and foremost because he's aware that this place isn't quite safe. I think he'd be looking around to see if there's any kind of I suppose any kind of, because I think he respects the Foundation, but I think he equally has equal disdain for like a lot of the people that seem to be doing better there. I think he'd be looking to see if there was any secret or anything that could signify a private bunker entrance, because I think he would feel like the bigwigs would perhaps look more after themselves.
Okay.
In this, I don't know. That's his train of thought.
Okay. Roll me a. Well, you tell me whether you feel that that's more Holmwood or Hart.
I think that'd be more. It's a tough one, isn't it? Because he respects. So he respects them, but equally he spends so much time in this place that it's a bit like, you know, when you're in the office, you're like, like Carol's left.
I'm thinking it's a Holmwood roll. Yeah. You're trying to figure out the physics of it.
We'll give it a go.
Of the secret trapdoor. Also, in response to the discovery of the allium, boop, up goes the dread timer.
Okay, let's give this a slap bang in the middle.
Okay, so this is a development. So basically you can ask me any question and then I'll answer it, and then stuff will happen. So as you go rummaging around, the first thing that takes your notice is like the first place to look under the desk, and you notice that kicked into the corner of the desk, like kicked away, there seems to be a large pile of Holmwood Foundation files, like in folders, that look like they're. So there's a waste paper basket. You notice some of the files are in the bin, but other files are just kind of scattered around it and seemingly just like very nonchalantly kicked into a corner. And as you're rummaging through, you find a post-it note on the top one. There's a post-it note that's just been slapped on the front, and in handwriting it says, "Fuck my life."
Goodness.
You as you're sort of like rummaging around, you see that kind of under the pile of folders, knocked under accidentally, it would seem, you do in fact find a security key card. Like you find the name badge, Jeremy Larkin, and there's his face, looking really miserable. But you can ask me a question.
Ooh, okay. I suppose the question actually, it's a really tough one. Is it a question, a general question, or is it specifically linked to what we've discovered?
Well, so you get special insight into what's going on.
Okay.
As per the rules, what I wrote.
Yes. Okay, so at this point, I suppose I would ask, what is the nature of this containment breach? In the sense that is, how bad is it, and
So,
how scared should we be?
You know that we are now in the second stage of a containment breach. So generally speaking, as per protocol, if a containment breach is detected, there is a 5-minute timer that begins, after which all exits and entry points to the underground facility are deadlocked. No one's getting out. If the containment breach is contained within those 5 minutes, then someone with a security clearance, perhaps, the facility director, for example, he could use you could use your credentials to stop the containment breach countdown. As that has not happened, and you have no idea where Jeremy is, but clearly he's not got his keycard with him, you know that the breach is clearly bad enough that even after 5 minutes, what the assets from biological archives on floor -8 are still loose. The end game is that the building will self-destruct to collapse 2 floors and 8 underground floors of building on top of itself to prevent any of the assets getting out into the open world, because that would be disastrous.
So I think in that... Oh, sorry, carry on.
Well, no, the only escape route now is to make your way to one of the security bunkers.
So I think Roger, looking under all these files and papers, in which case he would find... Yeah, he would grab the security pass and turn to the others in a sort of fluster and say, "Okay, everybody, attention, come down from that chair, some coffee cups. The good news is we have this. The bad news is it looks like Mr. Larkin has scarpered and left the place. Now, all I'm saying is we might be able to save ourselves, but if he's gone, there's a likely chance that I think he got wind of what's going on here and got out before the going gets too bad. So, yes, hooray!" You can see his hand shaking as he sort of realizes now the extremity of this situation and the...
What's the vibe of the room from everyone else?
It's a bit tense, I think.
Yeah.
It's a little bit tense.
Yeah?
Sophie has a single tear that runs down her cheek at that, and she looks at you and says, No. The company cares, and they know that, some of us are specialized in what we do. They wouldn't want to lose assets, right?
Roger picks up a folder with a thing that says, "They care, do they? Is that why they've got a folder here that says, 'Fuck my life'?" So because that doesn't seem like a very wholesome thing to write on a folder of notes, does it?
You can see that on the front of the folder there is what can only be described as an absolutely idle scribbling of a biro on the front of the folder before it's been scrunched up and thrown in the bin. And this looks like very important Foundation business. In fact, the file that Roger is waving to make his point, one of the bits of paper falls out of the folder, and as it lands face up on the desk, you see that it is titled to Facility Director Jeremy Larkin, and it is to get his approval on the installation of magnetic locks in the archive screening room.
For God's sake.
Let's go to the bunker now. Would it be fair to say that as caretaker, I know where the closest bunker would be? I know it's probably a couple of floors down.
I mean, well, no, there's one on there's a security
every
bunker
floor.
on every floor. So, I mean, yeah, we just need to head over to the floor -1 security bunker. And you've got Jeremy's card, so you can scan yourself in, lock the door.
Great. Let's do it. Let's get out of here.
And as Ernie says that, the lights cut a second time, and the alarm stops, and the four of you are plunged into darkness. Pitch black darkness. But unlike last time, the lights do not flicker back on. Through the darkness, you hear a crackle. And from the facility tannoy speakers, you hear,
little rats scampering and scurrying through the dark. You kept me here for too long, and now I will wreak a vengeance upon you that will be too kind for what you have done to me. I can smell your fear. I can hear your hearts beating. Before this is through, you will be corpses dashed across this damned Foundation's rubble.
and the tannoy fizzes out.
That was rude.
I have ticked up the dread timer.
Roger, you said that your friends. These are your friends, right? You can talk to them.
Yeah, Roger. Naming.
I don't know that woman. I've never heard her voice in my life.
Maybe you could put in a good word with your other friends that might be connected to her. I don't.
Yes. No. Right.
I've not done anything bad. I've only done some experiments. I've not experimented on anything. I run tests. I don't. Do you think that I could?
First things first. The light, the flashlight you were holding. Have you still got it? Because we can't all panic if we can't see one another.
She clicks it on, and it like does the old like around the campfire like scary lighting on her. And she points at you.
Yes, turn it off. Turn it off.
Yes.
It's scarier now.
Sorry.
Right, we must remain calm. I think that says that. Now the spray. Who's got the spray? Now these creatures, they don't like light and they hate garlic. They particularly don't like it if we have an Italian the night before, because you can imagine. Now, and you see Roger's almost at this point. He is panicking, but he's trying everything he can to be somewhat useful in the sense that he hasn't really been that useful so far.
Well, I'll just jump in and say, Will, what's Will doing?
I don't know, he's just holding the spray bottle.
Sure.
Like,
okay.
What? This does not feel like it's going to do anything. But it's the only thing that he's got, so he's going to be holding it really tight.
Will, as Roger and is sort of like trying to kind of talk sense out of all of this, as Sophie's sort of like, would we say Sophie's like borderline panicking?
Yeah.
There seems to, yeah, okay.
Yeah, Sophie has had way too many poor experiences thus far.
Sure, yeah, absolutely.
Has been, sanded down.
Okay. I mean, Will, whether or not you believe that this is all some sort of like elaborate prank or not, what has caught your attention is that the lights have still not come on. In fact, now that the tannoy has gone dead, you are now living in a world of darkness, illuminated only by the flashlight that Sophie is holding. Suddenly, the floor seems bigger. Everything seems further away, yet simultaneously more, kind of closer, a little bit oppressive. But the power seems to have completely cut.
Sure. So I mean, he's panicking now. Like, I think regardless of whether this is a prank, like it's gone too far, and it's tipped over from being, oh, this is a bit weird and a bit strange to everyone around is also panicking, and now I'm panicking. And he's just kind of holding the bottle and maybe shuffling a little bit closer to the light. Just very gradually getting a little bit closer to everybody else. Just to be safe.
As you sort of like huddle towards the light, you hear like there's a pause in the sort of like the panicked planning from sort of like Roger, but you hear a voice kind of ring out through the darkness. Hello? Is it Ernie? Is that you?
Do I recognize this voice? Is it someone I know?
As you sort of like peer into the darkness, and Sophie, as you kind of turn this flashlight, your flashlight picks up this sort of like I'd say like a middle-aged woman who's very gracefully moved into her 50s, and she sort of like covers her eyes as the light accidentally flashes over her. Ernie, you recognize this to be Ms. Smith, Jeremy Larkin's PA.
Oh no.
Is that you, Ernie?
Lizzie, why are you here? What's going on? Wait, I thought you'd be home by now.
I was in the loos, and then the alarm went off, and for some reason someone's installed magnetic locks on the bathrooms, and I've only just got out.
But I swear, your boss, you need to kick up the backside. Look, we need to go. Did you hear the voice? I think we need to get out. We all need to get out. She can probably see he's still holding his shoulder because he is still wounded.
Have you nicked yourself, dear?
Something like that. Don't. It's fine. I'll be fine. Just we need to go. You know where the bunker is, don't you? For the protocol.
Yes, but it seems like the power's out. How are the doors going to open if the power's out? We can't get in the bunker, surely.
God. I think as you say this, obviously it clicks on Ernie's face. He's like, am I gonna have? So, Dan, above table, am I gonna have to go find the generator and turn it on to turn the doors on?
As the thought
that
you will have to head to the location of the emergency generators to kickstart the auxiliary power reserves into this building, as that thought bubbles to the top of your mind, and this is a dreadful thought.
Where is it, Dan?
We go up to 5. You know that it's all the way down on floor -7.
Oh man. Okay. I'm not built for this anymore. Right.
I mean, you know where the generators are, won't you, Ernie?
Yeah, all the way. So, Lizzie, can you go? Put yourself in Jeremy's room, close the door, and we'll knock for you when the lights are back on. That's safest place for you. Just you'll hear us knock. Okay, don't go anywhere else. Don't talk to anyone else.
A specific knock, Ernie, right? A specific knock, not just like a random.
Yeah. Like a Pacific knock. What rhythm of knock would you like, Lizzie?
Swan Lake.
Yeah.
Apologies, Ernie, but if you don't mind, I mean, I'm rather not a fan of the dark, so I think if it's okay, I'll come with you. It's best if we stick together, right? It's usually a terrible idea to split up in situations like this.
That's true.
Okay.
I'm just loving the idea of Will just being like, just doesn't know anything, doesn't believe the situation, but knows his horror films. Like, yeah, she's got a point.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
I've seen this one.
I reveal to everyone where the generator is. Like it's on the -7th floor. If we want these lights back on, we've got to go back downstairs. So if we're sticking together, we've got to go together.
Okay. All right. Whatever you need. Just, what can I do to keep you calm? She looks at the woman. Is there anything I can do? I know I see you in passing a lot, but we've really never talked before. Is there something that you need to keep calm? Because we all need to stay calm.
Believe me, dear, if you've worked for Jeremy as long as I have, there's relatively few things that rattle you.
Oh, okay. Good. That's good. That's good, because there's lots of things to rattle you, so that's good.
She sort of like smiles and, shall we? She says as she sort of like gestures into the darkness where, in the rough location that she thinks the stairwell is.
There's a look of incredulity on Sophie's face, and she just looks to the other three like...
I like it.
I think Roger would be empathetic at this point because he can definitely sense that Sophie's trying to hold it together, but is very nervous. And I think he would offer some form of comfort and say, I've worked here for a very long time, and I know many of these undead folks, and the key thing with them is be very calm, breathe slowly, imagine yourself like you're walking with them along the beach. That's how you do it. And that way then, if you act like that, they'll act like it in return.
I'm going to need a heart roll, good sir.
Oh no. Oh no.
So please roll over your number.
Okay.
As Roger says these words out loud in a dark room illuminated by one singular flashlight, your intention, Roger, is seemingly twisted and warped by the gloom. And your words seem suspiciously hollow. And it inspires nothing but more dread.
Oh, no.
We are now up to 6. So
He was never a poet.
as Ms. Smith, as Lizzie, yes, quite, she says. We fast forward to the 5 of you emerging out onto floor -7, the archives room. So you've gone down the sort of like the security stairwell that you originally came up. As you go past the door of floor -6, you can see that there are some sort of like impacts that have dented the door from the other side, but the door has thankfully held. When you get to floor 7, you're able to use the sort of like the manual slider on Jeremy's key card to kind of.
Oh no!
Oh.
Hello?
Oh no!
Is it me?
I can see you. What's up?
I can't see 2 people.
Oh, it might be it might be that the internet has
Oh no.
hidden us, but we
The
can see
containment
us.
breach has happened. The floor's blowing up.
Taking them already.
Sorry, I was really
Yeah.
scared that I messed it up. Sorry.
No,
No,
you're good. You're good.
Yeah, Video Ninja sometimes hides video to make sure the bitrate goes through on the stream. So as long as you can still hear us, that's the
You're good.
best sign. If you can't
Yeah, I
hear
couldn't-
us, then that's
I
when
couldn't
you
hear
freak out.
anything just now. I was like,
Oh.
but we're
Oh.
good. It was-
No,
must
we
be a
are
front
good.
line.
We're good.
Sorry.
Well, your characters aren't, but we are collectively good. Yeah, you're able to use the sort of like the manual release on the security door in the stairwell to it's heavy and you have to give it a good old pull. But as you open it up, and Sophie, you kind of flash your flashlight around, you find yourself in this kind of large space dominated by these tall metal-framed bookcases, like double-sided, just absolutely stacked with files, boxes with more files, just all manner of archival notes that have been collected by the Foundation over centuries? Yeah,
It's 130 years.
Century and a bit. And yeah, the archive seemingly, like, your flashlight runs out of like luminance before it gets to the other end of the archive. But yeah, this place in the dark feels like a hedge maze from hell, made up of kind of rows and columns of these bookshelves. As the five of you make your way through, so Ernie, are you sort of like leading the charge and heading?
Yeah, I think so. I think he so it's strange. He doesn't really go into this room.
Okay.
It's one of the few rooms he doesn't go into, because I feel like he is one of like two caretakers, and he's relatively new. I think he would have known about the magnetic larks feed.
Sure.
He'd been here a bit longer, and there's a sense of awe about him as he enters this room. He's just like, it's quite interesting, actually. Quite a big fan of the Harkers. All this history that must be in this room, and then that kind of sudden sickening feeling that the building is going to get rid of all of it fills his gut.
As you say that, you hear a resonant ring out from somewhere overhead. The seemingly planted charges are beginning their detonation processes.
Okay, let's try this way.
As the five of you leaf your way through the rows of bookshelves, you find the door to the the emergency generator room.
Mm-hmm.
But as you go to open it, you notice that this door is also locked. You say you don't come down here all that often?
Not as this room isn't the one he would. I think him and the caretaker take care of separate floors.
Sure. Okay.
So I think it's not his usual remit.
In which case, as you go to open the door, you find that this is also locked, but this is not a locked door that you would have a key for on your key ring.
Is it the kind of door that has a window? Is it something I could smash?
It's one of those like little narrow
ports.
rectangular ones with the wire in it to make it reinforced. But as you kind of flash the torchlight through, Sophie, you see that there is a like an inert generator. Like you can see like lots of machinery on the other side, tucked away, and yeah, if you can get into this room, you'll be able to reactivate. Roger is quite well seen. Well, Roger and Ernie, you both know that on this particular floor, you will find, obviously, apart from the archive bookshelves, you'll also find the offices of some of the archivists, including the head archivist of the Westenra building.
Could probably find Jones's desk, but he'd have a key or a card. Can't be far from here. Can I head in that direction? As I explained, that's where we're going to the group.
Mm-hmm.
I think Roger would know because he spends a lot. He spends a lot of time
This is
between
true.
here at the research labs and the biological archives. And, that's like they're his two places. So I think he would know the way.
Okay, I mean, yeah. In which case, Roger, you would absolutely be able to confirm that as, in inverted commas, floor manager. You would be able to find access keys in the office of the head archivist, in this case, Arthur Jones.
Okay. I suppose they head in, and I've always had this funny feeling about this Arthur fellow. Interesting chap. And he scrounges around for the light switch, then turns around and sort of goes, right. Sophie, I'm going to need you to shine your torch in here, I'm afraid.
Oh, okay, all right, yes. I would love to do that. She kind of
Excellent.
steps up a little bit proudly, shaking off a little bit of the nerves, and pops it on.
Now, my only reservation here is he's quite secretive, and I'm not entirely sure he wouldn't have locked his drawer. And he rolls his eyes.
Well, who would like to join Roger in having a rummage through Arthur Jones's office?
Always.
Ernie? Okay. In which case, between Will and Sophie, what is it you're doing? You feel so Arthur's office is quite small, certainly significantly small in comparison to Jeremy's that you've just been in. But unlike Jeremy's, this office space is absolutely covered in files and folders, in sort of like Holmwood paraphernalia. It's a bit of a it's chaotic by comparison. And perhaps as you sort of like flash the light around, the thing that kind of just in the center of all of this chaos is what appears to be a sort of like those kind of nodding dogs, but instead of like a British bulldog, it's a caricature bobblehead of Dracula, like a cartoon version, purple skin, big fangs, black cloak with the red lining. And as Roger sort of like is rummaging around, you see this Dracula bobblehead just wobbling away.
I would argue that we probably have seen him, apart from Will. Everyone else would have probably seen Arthur at film club occasionally when he wasn't too busy. So
yes,
he's a lot more friendly than Jeremy.
One of the first things that you find is a second flashlight. So who would like to equip themselves with that?
I can, if Will's still got his garlic gun.
Two-handing it like it's a gun.
Garlic.
Okay.
I'll take the torch as well. We can be torch buddies, me and Soph.
So Ernie's got a flashlight, Sophie's got a flashlight, Will's got the allium, and Roger's got rugged determination. So Sophie, do you want to, like, are you kind of stepping back now that Ernie's got flashlights, or are you kind of hovering over shoulders?
I am being so helpful right now.
Sure. Amazing. Okay. In which case, is Roger looking for Arthur's like stash for all intents and purposes?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He'd be sort of probably not very helpfully, throwing things, papers, everything around the room, because I think we're getting into shit hits the fan. I think he would look at the PA and be like, "Come on!" So yeah, Lizzie. And as she goes to start helping, she tries to help for a few moments and then realizes, too many chefs in the kitchen. And she turns to you, Roger, and didn't Arthur's partner started working here recently, didn't she? I think her office is on this floor. We might find some stuff in her room, like in her office. There's no point all of us crowding in here.
It's a good point. I don't know if we should have much. We can have a look.
It can't be more untidy than this place. I mean, look at it. How does the cleaner make their way around this place when they can't even see the floor themselves? I think we're out of options.
Lizzie, would anyone like to join Lizzie in looking through the other office? Arthur's partners. Ernie? Okay, so if which teams Will going with?
Well, I have a torch, so maybe it's better if someone who doesn't have a torch comes with me, so there's someone's got a torch just in case.
That's true. I feel like Lizzie and Ernie are slightly more. He's like, these two feel like they're more capable. Like, Sophie's panicking, she's gonna make me panic. Roger is Roger, so I think Will's gonna go with those two just to stay a bit calmer.
Okay. So you're going with Lizzie and Ernie.
Yes.
Okay. In which case, as the three of you peel away, between Sophie and Roger left in Arthur's room, Sophie, you're helping, yes? You're being helpful, super helpful. Okay. If I can have a support, like a help roll from you, I'll let you decide if you're feeling more Holmwoody or hearty in this endeavor.
And I have to decide before I roll.
Yeah, because I feel yes.
I think I'm feeling more heart right now.
Okay.
Some things have been transpiring that have really just crumpled her faith
Sure,
in the
sure.
corporation.
Okay. In which case, then, as you attempt to help, we can have a heart roll. That's a 4, which is your number. So you do succeed. So Roger, you'll get some support on your roll in a moment. But Sophie, you also get to ask me a question about the immediate vicinity, the immediate situation.
These people seem to be folks who try to skirt the rules.
Mm-hmm.
Is there something in here that could help us do the same re-protocol? Like, is there like a back way down that people don't know about? Is there a way to get through in the vents? Is there something in here that like is not common knowledge that all of us would possess, that is a way to flout the rules in our favor?
There is. As Roger's kind of thrashing and crashing around, kind of sifting through all of these files and folders on Arthur's desk, and you're sort of like pointing the flashlight as best as you can, trying to figure out where it is that Roger's going to go next. You glance on a small. You see a small kind of note tucked into a little black book. That there's just something about it that kind of radiates. Oh, that's a secret right there. And as you kind of have a quick peek at the note, kind of plunging what Roger's doing into darkness, you see that Arthur has written down the password for the mainframe server in the generator room. So starting up the generator is kind of a manual process, but there will be some sort of like kind of facility-esque mainframe in that room, and for whatever reason, Arthur has written down the password for it. Terrible, absolutely diabolical data security etiquette, but he has in fact written it down. Like, hasn't even like crossed out some of the letters. He's just full raw dog to that password.
I think Sophie, kind of under her breath, is like sloppy, and then takes the book itself with the paper, just in case there's something else in there that might be useful, but continues to level the flashlight for Roger so that you can see what you're doing. Yeah. So Roger, in this moment, as Sophie returns the light to you, and you finally get a chance to look at what it is you're holding, and you realize it's it's an email memo from Arthur to Facility Director Jeremy Larkin. Hi, Jeremy. Just to let you know, I have approved Twilight for Film Club. I know that you wanted us to have the Hugh Jackman Van Helsing film, but I spoke to a couple of people and Twilight just won on the vote. All the best, Arthur.
Roger just sort of holds it up and says, "Well, it's good to know that they're looking after the important things. Am I right?" He says, "Shame they can't look over the old magnetic locks whilst they're at it. Instead, chucks it over his shoulder. I mean, these people."
Before we roll Roger's check, let's switch over to Ernie, Will, and Lizzie. You find yourselves at a nearby office. Unlike Arthur's and Jeremy's doors, which have had nameplates attached, this one, there's a slot for the name plate to go into, but the slot is currently empty. And as the door is unlocked, and as you let yourself in comparison to Arthur's office, this place looks empty, but in a haven't quite moved in fully yet kind of way. But yeah, you can see you can see the employee handbook on the desk in the corner. You can see that there are a number of boxes with some sort of like personal effects scattered around. But there is one box in particular that is sort of like on its side, lid off, like a small container box, if you will, like a plastic box. And Ernie, you recognise that as the box that employee staff keep their recorders in.
That's weird.
But it's empty.
Okay. I mean, it might be on her person. People, yeah, that makes sense. But usually she'd have left at the end of a workday, so she should have put it back. That's weird. Like, you don't take recorders home. That's weird.
No.
Who takes the recorders home with them?
We'll need to write that up.
We would. That would be something to flag for sure. Can I do a roll to find other things?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, do you want to help Will, or does Will want to help you?
Yeah, I think at this point, I think he's just desperate to get out of the situation, so it's gonna,
Sure.
give him a hand.
Okay. I would argue because this is like an act of desperation, if you will. Please roll me a heart roll. So you need to roll over your number.
Cool.
And what about?
And then this will dictate whether you get the bonus.
There we go.
Boshed it. Absolutely boshed it.
Yes.
Okay. So, Ernie, you will get some support on your next roll. So you get an extra D6, and then if you want to, have you got any statements to help with your search?
Not me. I am a caretaker, so I do know how rooms are built. But I've already established I don't spend a lot of time on this floor, so I'll leave it at 2. That's all good with me.
Okay. Roll me 2d6.
Okay. So what was I rolling for? Heart or Homeward?
That was a good question. So without me looking at the numbers.
Yeah.
What you're just having a bit of a rummage, right?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say heart. So you need
I
to
got under. Over? Okay, I got over as well.
You got over as well?
6.
Okay,
yeah.
you got 6.
That's why I was a bit like, it's a bit...
Yeah, that's fair. So you do find something. Was there anything in particular you were looking for, Ernie?
Just trying to see, because we're trying to find a way to get into the generator room. Just seeing if her key card's still here. If unlikely if her recorder's gone. But then she might have left the ID card here by mistake, or if there's like any sort of like temporary pass because she's new, or just anything really. I'm being a bit nosy also.
You find so there is a small letter tucked into, like, poking out of one of the box of like move-in bits. And like the envelope is open, the letter has been sort of like taken out, read, and then not quite put back in. But your attention is drawn to it. And on the front of the envelope in handwriting is to Maddie. And as you open the letter, you realise it's a small handwritten note from Arthur. Hope the move-in's going well. Hope the move-in's going well. When things have quietened down a little bit, perhaps I'll give you a tour of -8. Little heart. Little hand-drawn heart. And there is... what would you like to find? I think that's the easiest way to...
What in terms of like being cheeky or actually for use?
Yes.
That doesn't help. That doesn't help, Dan.
What useful item do you find?
I think I find some painkillers for my wound.
Yes, you find a first
Because-
aid kit.
I know Sophie has one on her, but we didn't get to that point because we got a bit distracted. So it's probably useful for her to keep hers. But I'm like, oh no, I will. So I will probably use that to kind of at least clean up my wound a little bit whilst we're having a gander.
You absolutely find a first aid kit, and I will top your health up. So yeah, you in a very stereotypical way, you bandage, and then you're tip top. So yeah, the rest of the room looks relatively empty because it seems that this Madeline hasn't quite moved in yet. So we flick back to Roger and Sophie. So Roger, now that Sophie's kind of ably helping you, what is it? You're looking for access to the generator room keys. Are you looking in a where would protocol tell me to tell me it's hidden, or I know Arthur, where do I think he's put it?
I think I'd be looking. Well, Roger will be looking at a far more. Yeah, I know Arthur. He's a strange guy. He's very chaotic, and we can see that. So you're looking around thinking, okay, well, what about? He stashed a load of stuff there. What about here? What about there? I'm looking on top of filing cabinets. I'm looking in the waste paper bin. You know, like I'm struggling here. But Roger's very much. He's just trying to think, where is this messy bastard put his things?
Okay. So you've got at least one extra dice from Sophie helping. Have you got any statements to help with this roll?
Sophie. Oh, sorry.
Go on, Sophie.
No, go for it.
Sophie also kind of she gives you a little pep talk, like, you've got this. You know what you're doing far more than me. You've made friends with these creatures, these people, excuse me, and you respect them. And I think that if anyone has a chance of getting out of here alive, it's you. What is this nonsense? And she looks at the little Dracula and knocks it off the desk.
Oh, yeah.
Smacks it on the ground really hard. Like, they're not gonna like that we're making fun.
He just looks down and says, I gave him that for Christmas.
She immediately turns like purple and like picks it up and puts it back neatly. Flashlight. Sticking to torch duty.
Oh my goodness. So I think at this point, Roger's a reclusive type himself. And reclusive people are quite secretive. For this reason, a lot of his notes are going to be, for example, he names all of his research subject. I don't think he's really going to want other people necessarily knowing about this. So he is quite good at hiding things. And so I think would that work in his favor in terms of his searching roles?
It absolutely would. This is our first 3 dicer.
There we go, 3d6.
Okay, so we're going for hearts, so you need to roll over your 3.
Over my 3, okay. Here we go. Oh,
you tried, but you got your 6. So yeah, you like channeling your inner hermit. You successfully sort of like, and what you know of Arthur, you managed to find where he stashes the key to the generator room in his desk. And arming yourself with it, taking one last glance at the now on its side Dracula bobblehead. The two of you kind of duck out into the archive rooms direct. You can see that there's a flashlight kind of flashing around in this other office on the archive floor. You suspect that that's Ernie and Will. And so as you kind of sweep the area with your torchlight, you can see that Lizzie is sort of like standing outside this other office, just kind of peering in, sort of like, oh, have you tried looking over there? She says, and just sort of like pointing from a distance. Are you gathering the crew or heading straight to the generator room? You all going in together?
I think so. If we noticed the torchlight, I guess, I'm outside, it would make sense if we
Sure.
poke our heads
Okay.
in. Yeah.
In which case, in like a few moments later, we find the four of you having like perhaps perfect, unlike anything else that's happened so far. As you put the key in the door, it just glides open with a satisfying click. The door swings open, and Ernie, you know exactly how to make this generator sing. So as you sort of like, it's not a big red button, but I suspect it's not that far off, but maybe a big kind of pull down lever.
Yeah.
But as you pull down the lever and the generator sort of like clunks and chokes and sputters into life, the darkness around you begins to fade as the strip lights in the archive begin to flicker to life, and slowly but surely the electric hum of the lights overhead just kind of fills you with this warmth of safety as you're finally able to see. And as the lights come back on, you perhaps the one thing that also joins that you're not as pleased about is the alarm continues to ring. Behind you is the mainframe, and who was it who found the password? It was Will, wasn't it?
It was Sophie.
Sophie, beg your pardon, Sophie. So yes, as the lights come back on and you kind of get a better bearing of the room that you're in. On the other opposite wall, you see this sort of like computer terminal, relatively wall mounted in a big kind of metal server framing. And now that the power's come on, that computer kind of fizzes up to life. You know that this appears to be a security mainframe of sorts.
I think she makes her way over there very hesitantly, like looking like, is there anyone else better suited to type this in than me? Surely someone else should do this job.
You right there, Soph? What's the matter?
I'm not. I'm a junior. I'm a junior science officer. I'm not really. I don't. Would you like to type? I have the password if you want to enter the information. I don't know that I'm the right person for this specific task. It seems very important.
What is so above table, Dan? What does this actually do? Is it obvious to me what it does, or is it just like a scary computer? Put in passwords, make things weird.
No, so this is one of the this is the designated floor security mainframe. So from it you'll be able to lock, unlock doors. You'll be able to
unlocking all the doors. Let's go. Let's put that password in. No more magnetic locks. And as I punch in the passwords, I'm just like, fuck you, Jeremy. Fucking.
Okay. So as you kind of click open, as you type in the password, the computer sort of opens up and a number of sort of windows pop up. You see that the most recent, the window that pops up on top appears to be CCTV recordings, and they've run up until pretty much when the 5-minute countdown ended. And the play, you see that the play button for the most recent recording is kind of prepped and primed if you want to watch that.
Yeah, let's watch that.
As you click play, you realize it's a security footage of the front of the Lucy Westenra building, one of the external cameras. So if nothing else, you're able to get a bit of an idea of what's been happening outside the building during this containment breach. But there's relatively few people, there's relatively few people in the building. But as you watch the footage, you can't help but swear under your breath as the footage picks up 2 people fleeing the building. And one of them... 3 people flee the building in this short clip. And one of them, the person who actively pushes someone out of the way in a bid to escape, is none other than Jeremy Larkin. And like in a seemingly almost in a typically Jeremy way, he kind of turns and looks up at the CCTV as he sort of like runs, and there's a bit of a sneer on his face as he pushes this sort of like a colleague to the side as he makes a dash for freedom.
Fuck that guy.
But otherwise, say that happens just before the 5-minute countdown ends, so the clip finishes. So you're moving to kind of deactivate all the security measures, like all the security locks.
Yes.
Okay. In which case, as you go to do that, and sort of like you see the green tick start appearing on screen as you unlock the security measures. There comes a point. What's the next thing you want to do, or is that pretty much it?
I'm wondering, can I use CCTV to look to see if there's anything in the corridors we should be wary of if we're trying to find another safety bunker?
In which case, as you grab the mouse and go to move to the CCTV, the other three of you recognize that Ernie suddenly starts sort of like moving the mouse frantically from left to right, because Ernie, the mouse does not seem to be moving in the manner that you're trying to make it move. And like the mouse pointer jitters slightly, and then the windows begin kind of shutting down until you're just on the the desktop display, if you will. And then you see the screen goes black into a command prompt-esque screen, and you see text beginning to type across the screen. The computer goes, the screen cuts, and when it reopens again, it's showing the CCTV feed. And the feed it's showing is the stairwell into the archive that you are in, onto the level -7 floor, and it's just like the CCTV footage just showing this open doorway, and then the four of you hear a fizzing coming from the computer before you hear hide. And the computer shuts down. Sorry, just before the computer shuts down, you hear in the distance, and you see a shadow emerge in the doorway of the level 7 archive facility. And I will throw you back into code red because you realise there is a thrall on your floor.
Okie dokie. Right. Will's got the spray.
I'm armed and ready.
Do we not lock the door?
As you say that, Roger, you hear from behind you, "What was that noise?" Lizzie shouts, and like she disappears round a corner as if to investigate, and you hear, and you watch as Lizzie is tackled by this fast-moving shape, and as she screams and is knocked down past another row, you hear, and the sound of Lizzie hitting the ground. What do you do?
Cry. Okay.
I will tick down the
these things.
counter.
Well, for crying, that's not fair. No. Okay. Right. Battle stations can. I should have thought of this sooner. In a panic, can the generator room? Is there a table?
I can't imagine there would be in my mind's eye.
There must be a desk though, because the computer's
Any
on
sort
a
of desk.
Well, I was imagining. Well, I was picturing it in one of those like big kind of server room mainframe. Box
terminal.
Type things.
Yeah.
Sure. Chair. Is there a chair?
There is a chair.
I am turning that chair over and taking off the chair leg. I want it to be my weapon.
Okay, you're arming yourself with a chair leg. Okay.
No, it's probably metal. It's probably the wrong, but it's fine. It's taking, just yanking it.
Okay. Will, are you closest to the door?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, you can see, like, you've just seen Lizzie sort of like get tackled by this blur. She's disappeared. She's made some horrendous noises and isn't making any more. But you can see this looming shadow of something that appears to be kind of crawling around. So to paint you the picture, you're in this large kind of archive floor filled with nothing but rows of these bookcases. So there are places to hide as long as whatever it is that just, frankly, killed Lizzie, as long as it can't draw line of sight to you by between the bookshelves, you might be okay. But as the shadow seems to be looming closer, and there is this
Cool. So I think he's still clinging to the garlic spray. I don't think he's even primed with it now. He's just cradling it. I imagine it's just kind of grabbing whoever's next to him and just trying to walk them back toward the door. But it's just blindly reaching and looking and trying to work out where the sound is coming from.
Who is it that you grabbed? Sophie or Roger?
I imagine Sophie, because I imagine she was the back from when the password typing was happening.
Okay, so yeah. Sophie, you are sort of grabbed, fumbled against, and then grabbed by Will, and yeah, your attention has turned. You can see this shadow is looming. It's about to kind of emerge around a corner, and just see the four of you in this, in the doorway of the server room, of the generator room. Do you want, I guess your options are bolt towards the door that leads back to the stairwell, bolt towards Arthur's office, just do your best to hide in amongst the bookshelves. Where do you want to go?
I feel like going in the office, even though it's small, is the best option. I feel like going somewhere that I know there is a door and a safety net of a wall, at least a partial one, is probably what Sophie would do. I think she starts take a couple of steps back, and Will would probably feel her fingers squeezing into into his arm, as they start to kind of also pull him in the direction as well. Just slowly, it feels like she's almost not even piloting her body. It's just all fear.
Sure. Okay. So you're sort of making your way. I'm picturing it as left back towards Arthur's office.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I feel like this is 100% a heart roll.
Okay.
Is Will helping?
Yeah.
How is Will helping?
I imagine he's kind of trying to keep an eye on what's happening, while they're backing up. Okay. Just in case it comes around the other way or jumps over the top. So yeah.
That's another heart roll. So Will, if you quickly roll out a heart roll.
Gotcha.
So you need to roll above your number, which is 2.
There you go.
5. Okay.
Yeah.
So Will, as sentry and sort of spotter, Sophie, you are aided, so you've got at least 2 dice. Have you got any statements that will help you in this stealthy approach?
Yes. I only want to be helpful. And right now I am trying to be helpful by hopefully saving lives.
Okay.
So
we have, in which case we have another 3 dice. As say, this is a heart roll, so you need to roll it over a 4.
1, 5, 1, 4. I mean, overall 11.
Overall. Okay, so you've got a 5, so that is a success. So yeah, between the two of you, based on Will's sort of now, the two of you kind of duck around the bookshelf, just as this kind of shadow looms round to see where you were, and the two of you are able to scurry back to Arthur's office at the rear, the far end of this archive room. Roger and Ernie, what are you two doing? So just before Will and Sophie bolt, where's Roger going? What's Roger doing?
At the moment, Roger's in the corner. I think he's keeping himself as far away from the door as possible, it's happening so fast. I think he's just because in his mind he's thinking, why haven't we shut the bloody door, and then we could make a plan. I sound like Michael Caine then. Why have we shut the bloody doors, eh? Come on, shut the door. But at this moment in time, he's being pretty useless. I think he is hoping that Ernie, being the resourceful man that he is, might have something up his sleeve.
Okay. You know what? As you sort of like press yourself into a corner and then look sideways at Ernie, the dread timer ticks down as Ernie and Roger, you watch, like you hear a and you watch 4 spindly fingers wrap around the door frame into the generator room. And like you see the beginnings of this creature's head kind of breach the door frame of the generator room. It's about to be on you.
Is this Roger's moment? Is this finally where his friendship comes into? Will it? Oh my goodness! Is this? Yeah. Can Roger treats his research subjects as his friends?
Yes.
Can I have a roll, please?
Yes. Yes.
Oh, my goodness.
I can't help but feel like this is a heart roll.
Okay.
But you're 2 dice.
Here we go. Good luck, Rog.
Is this Lucy or is this another name this time? I feel like we don't know if it's the same one.
Well, so you've rolled a 5, so you have succeeded. So Roger, please tell me which thrall peers round the doorway.
Deirdre. Now stop it.
Deirdre pokes her head, she turns her heads to you, and like these large kind of,
please say glasses.
like
Deirdre Barlow.
Her large eyes, like her pupils are wildly dilated to the point where her eyes just look like large black glassy orbs. And as she looks to you with these almost like needle-like teeth, she sees you for a moment. The look of like of anger fades for a moment, and then she says, so you've stalled her for a moment successfully. What's Ernie doing?
Ernie is going to use the table leg and try and ram it through her chest as per Holmwood protocol. And as a retired security officer, I'm hoping that's at least 3 dice. For God's sake, Dad.
Roger is also helping you because he's distracted Deirdre. You've got a table leg, so I guess that helps. Yeah, roll me a 3-dicer.
1, 2, 3. What am I rolling? Holmwood? Because I would argue under Holmwood, right?
Yeah.
So it's
definitely Holmwood.
So as long as it's under 5, this should be successful.
Okay, so you roll a 4, you have succeeded. Unless you want to take the 5 and then get some information.
Let's take the 5.
Okay.
I think that's more fun to get information, even though, I'm still,
Okay, so Roger, you watch as like Ernie bursts out from behind the mainframe, land like toward bodies Deirdre, knocks her on her back, and Ernie, the stake, like dig the splintered wood of the stake digs into Deirdre's chest, and sinks low enough that you puncture her. Like you hope, like through the heart, but it's in the sternum area in general. As Deirdre, as you kind of land on her and squeeze the air out of her atrophied lungs, what question would you like me to answer?
It's more a question actually for Roger, because I'm curious. How can you tell the difference? What is it about Deirdre that's different to Lucy for you?
He spends
Like
a
you-
lot of his time because he works in research and specifically as well with the biological subjects and that. He spends a lot of time with them. He gets to know their quirks. He can tell just by looking at them who it is, because in some way his job is to understand them and to try and get to the idea of what is it? How can we learn from this? How can we use this information? How can we use them? And so he's a lonely guy. Like he would rather spend time with them than he would, out in the real world, which is why he's very reclusive. So for him, they are his friends. That's why at this moment in time, I just want to add, can I just really fuck this situation up for everyone? He will grab you, no, and pull you off of Deirdre.
Thank you for this gift.
Deirdre, like, Ernie, you are wrenched from Deirdre, and the chair leg is protruding from her chest. But like her head whips towards you, as you haven't had the chance to quite push this wooden leg through her ribs into her heart. But yeah, Roger, as you tackle Ernie off, Will and Sophie, you've made it to Arthur's room. I'm going to spend another point on the dread timer, because as you sort of like duck in, you can hear Roger like, no! And sort of you bundle Ernie off of this thrall.
That's great.
And like, you watch as, like, from your hiding spots, you see the thrall that just sort of like took out Lizzie. Like Lizzie, you can see scattered across the corridor of the archives. Deirdre sort of like skitters back a few steps, like fumbles at the wooden leg sticking out of her chest, and then she releases this like call, this summoning call, and overhead you hear clattering in the ceiling, and from your hiding spot you watch as you can see something moving through the air vents that run along the ceiling of the archive room, and then from the sort of like the vent in the middle of the room, the panel bursts open and another thrall collapses out, like tears its way out of the thin metal air ducts. Lands alongside Deirdre, and the two of them just sort of like start yelling at each other. What's Sophie doing?
Sophie is trying not to scream. There's a lot of silent that's happening, and lots of clawing at Will, but I think there's also a pull to like help her friends. So I think she's sort of frozen, trying to decide like which way to go with this.
I'm going to quickly step in and be a real arse, because you said that you're trying not to scream.
Yeah.
That sounds like a heart roll.
No. Okay. It's fine.
Do any of your statements help with not trying to scream?
Not even a little bit. I said
Okay.
I was a perky lab tech, which is arguably worse than a regular one. Okay, roll over a 4. Come on. I got a 4.
Okay, so you succeed. So you managed to like slam your hand over your mouth before you let out the scream. You can ask me a question.
Is there a way to save my friends?
So
The deep breath.
you now there are 2 thralls here. It will be awkward. You recognize that these archive shelves are not, they're heavy, but they are not bolted to the ground. But currently the thralls are in the sort of like the central aisle between the bookshelves, so someone's going to have to lure them in between the bookshelves before, like, they look heavy enough, so if these were to fall on the thralls, that will kind of take them out of commission. But someone's going to have to lure them into one of the bookcase alleys.
Sophie knows that Will is not helpful. and doesn't care about the Foundation. And I think makes the snap decision. She looks up at you and like grabs you by the front of your shirt. Listen, I know you're new, and that's fine, but you're strong. You're taller than me. So I'm going to go over there. I'm going to make a distraction. And then when they're in the thing, you see, when they're in between the shelves, you just push with all your might as hard as you can. And maybe we can all make it out of here alive. Okay?
Okay, cool.
She shakes you really hard. Okay.
Yeah, okay. Sure. So
Okay.
I'm pushing the case onto a vampire. That's what's happening.
Don't worry about that last part. You're going to get hung up. You're just pushing the bookcase over.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Yeah, I can do that.
She skitters around to like the opposite side of the bookcases to where the thralls are, and says, she like rifles through her notes real quick. What do I say? And starts singing the theme song to Twilight really loud. Eyes on fire. Hello. Here, come here. I'm here for you. If you.
Okay.
Here.
As you start singing the Twilight theme, you're looking at these two thralls that are in the center of the archive space, and they're currently sort of like looking in the direction of what appears to be Roger and Ernie rolling around on the floor on top of one another. But as you sort of like call out, begin singing the theme tune, the thrall that isn't Deirdre turns its head to look at you, and as it begins sort of like stalking, like a hungering wolf towards you over the body of Lizzie. Will, what are you doing?
Okay, so Will is having a panic. But it's trying to play it cool. Trying to be like, I don't know what's actually happening, but I don't want to embarrass myself if I'm about to die. So it's like still holding on to the garlic thing, and is trying to get himself in position, trying to like look through the bookcases to check he's in the right spot. And I imagine just heard somebody singing the Twilight theme tune, and it's like, cool, great idea. I mean, if it works, it works. Yeah, but is now kind of panicking and trying to find the best place with which to shove his body weight onto this thing when it's positioned correctly.
I mean, this if you're given the old heave ho, this is very much a heart thing. This is all Will.
Cool, excellent.
So, have you got one dice? Have you got anything? Any statements to help with this roll?
I mean, no, he didn't want the job, but he doesn't believe in vampires, so I feel like he should have less dice.
Okay, this is a 1 dice, and you need to roll higher than a 2.
Cool.
I have acknowledged that we do have a reroll fail in the bank that I've completely forgotten about until now. But Sophie, as this thrall sort of like looks to you and like large eyelids kind of blinking over these black glassy orbs that you can see yourself in a distorted manner. You hear Will kind of give this large grunt, and the bookcase, like next to the thrall, upsettingly slowly begins to tip and tilt, and the thrall like turns up and looks, and goes to sort of like leap out of the way by climbing up one of the bookshelves, like the next bookshelf. But Sophie, as you kind of dive backwards, the bookcases tip and trap this thrall between two, and you watch like Will, as this bookcase tips away from you, all the files and folders go flying everywhere. You watch as you start what is effectively a domino procession of these bookcases that boom, 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 one into the other, as they kind of cycle all the way down one side of the room. Very good. I'll tick down the dread clock as this thrall that, like, as the paper, the fluttering paper begins to settle. You can see this thrall, as say, pinned between the two bookshelves. It's still alive, and it's just like flailing wildly in your directions, trying to wrench itself free from its the vice-like metal shelves. Meanwhile, on the other side of the room, Ernie, you've just been bodied by Roger.
I have been bodied by Roger.
Preventing you from dealing a death blow to dear Deirdre. What are you doing?
It. Do I still have the table leg?
No, that is currently sticking out of her sternum.
Yeah. Okay. I shout angrily at Roger, trying to steady myself. Like, what's Roger doing? Because I think that kind of is Roger like.
That's a good question. What's Roger doing?
Or like, what is Roger doing?
I feel like Roger would have grabbed you, pulled you back, and sort of. He's definitely turned his back to Deirdre at this point, but he's trying to get you away, and he's shouting, he's saying, "You don't understand!" You know, and he's really irrationally all his, you know, his emotions have got the better of him.
She's trying to kill us.
You're trying to kill her.
I'm going to roll a dice. And Roger is odd. Ernie is even.
Roger's definitely odd.
So Roger, as you say, you're trying to kill her, and you sort of like the two of you are just sort of like rolling backwards and forwards on top of one another. Ernie, you sort of like roll up into you roll on top, and like as Roger sort of like looks up to you, you're trying to kill her. You are like, you get this kind of almost sixth sense feeling, and Ernie, you look up just in time to see Deirdre, like scrambling around from the corner, having just leapt up on like both feet on the wall, and is about to spring off the wall towards you, claws and fangs out. What do you do?
Roll out of the way. I have to move. I haven't got a weapon, so I have to move. I do have the torch, though. Do I use the torch? The torch is Holmwood. Torch does tell me that I can shine very sensitive to light. If I shine it in their eyes, they might miss. Yeah. So I think because I am more Holmwood based, I will do that. So I will, as she gets forward, I will raise my torch and trying to do what Sophie did earlier, and hope I am a little more successful.
Okay. Have you got any statements to help on this?
I am an ex-security officer.
Okay, sounds like a 2 dice. I'm going to say 3 dice because you're prepared because you've got a valid weapon. So, 3 dice. You're trying to roll under your number.
Okay, cool. Cool. Oh, my number's a 5. Okay. So,
do you want to take the 4 or the 5?
What can I ask in this situation?
So 4 is a success, 5 is a success with a development. And you get to ask a question.
I do like development question. Let's go. Yeah, let's go with 5 again.
Okay. In which case you are so Deirdre kind of leaps towards you and you see this chair leg kind of poking out of her chest as she leaps towards you. But as she collides with you, the force of impact knocks the leg out of her chest and it clatters to the ground next to Roger as she kind of flying rugby tackles you off your fellow colleague. You find yourself slightly like half pinned by this vampiric thrall, but yeah, you can ask a question, I'll answer it.
Interesting. Question, like how far away is this leg? Like, can I reach it with my hands? How far is it away from me?
It would be like you'd have to lunge for it. And Roger is already. So she's sort of like got what she's currently. Her hand is wrapped around your left wrist, So
Okay.
you'd have to sort of like lunge over this thrall, sort of over Roger to grab this chair leg.
Stall it. Let's do it. If I die, I die. Let's go. Let's do it. Let's roll.
Okay,
Um,
okay.
What role
This
were
is
you
a,
asking me
I
to
mean,
do?
this is an action hero move, so this is heart all the way.
Okay. So, and I guess with my previous background, I can roll at least one more dice.
I reckon so, yes.
Okay, I've got to get under a 5, guys. I'm not sure I'm going to do it with 2 dice. Let's go.
You have to get over.
Oh, over a 5, even worse.
Yeah.
Okay, right. That's what I meant. Right, let's do it. I got a 5. Oh my god.
Okay,
Got a-
so it's a development. Right, so you lunge, like you're kind of dragging Deirdre the thrall a little bit with you, but you kind of lunge past Roger. You manage to lay a hand on the chair leg. What's your question?
If I stab this thing now, the second time, will it die?
You reckon you probably did enough of a oomph the first time round that a second blow on target will do the deed.
I would like to do that regardless of Roger's wailing.
Very good. The development is as you grab this chair leg and sort of like turn around to look, you then watch as Deirdre's head has loomed up, fangs bared, and she clamps down into your upper thigh. You are now wounded.
Hot. Oh no! Cool.
Roger, I'll skip across Roger. Roger, you're watching. Deirdre's tackled Ernie off you. Ernie's leapt back over you. Deirdre's taken a chunk out of Ernie's leg. What are you doing?
I mean, at this point, it's all going on, isn't it? He's in such a tricky situation. I think so. He sees her taking a chunk out of Ernie's leg, and he's like, "Oh, what do I do?" And again, I think he would try to reason with her because I think he is mad. I think he would try to get Deirdre to stop.
Okay. Sounds like a heart roll.
I think it's a heart roll. Yeah.
And you think that all of your all of the assets are friends, so that's an extra dice.
That is, yeah, okay. Yeah. So that's what? It's
two dice heart.
Yeah. 2 dice heart. Okay. Here we go. Okay.
So that is fine. You need to roll over your number, so your 6 does it. So what is it you're saying to Deirdre?
I think he would try again. I think he would just say, Deirdre, stop! Stop it!
Okay.
Stop. Because I think part of his work with her is he's trying to understand her.
Are you Chris Pratt, Jurassic World?
I was about to say
He's
getting Jurassic Park Raptor energy. Earlier I was just like, clever girl. That was my brain.
Clever,
Raptor
clever girl, Deirdre.
Okay, so as you say this to Deirdre, like her fangs detach from Ernie's leg, and she looks up to like blood splattered across her kind of mouth and chin, and sort of like down on a little bit on her gown, and she looks directly at you, and then there's an ever so slight tilt of the head. But yes, you've successfully Chris Pratted Deirdre for the moment. We switch back because all of this is being observed by Will and Sophie on the other side of the room. It looks like Ernie's been chomped. Roger is swooning over. It's like trying to romance the vampire thrall. The two of you notice with the second thrall pinned, you can help, or there's a clear shot for the door. And more specifically, the bunker, the emergency bunker. Especially now all the bookshelves have tumbled, you can see the open door to the emergency bunker.
I think Sophie looks up at Will with tears in her eyes. I don't know how to help. I don't know how to help. He's bitten, and I don't know what Roger's doing, but I can't I don't know if I can help. Can I help you?
I mean, we have a spray bottle, but I'm not sure what that's
I
going to do
will
for
quickly
this
step
situation.
in and expedite the problem, because as you ask this, Sophie, can I help? The sound pressure hits your ears first as you hear this deep resonant and dust billows out from the ceiling as the first of the primary detonation charges goes off. And it would seem that the upper floors are beginning now to collapse down onto the lower floors.
Bunker! 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 And she takes off.
Yeah, I feel like that's a good shout. I feel like Will is going to be like, sorry guys, and kind of give it like maybe like throw the garlic bottle like in their direction as a like, good luck, I guess.
Okay, so Sophie's bolting for the bunker. I'm gonna need. I feel like, having read through the employee book, cardio is not listed as the rule of must-have. So this is a heart roll, as you have to functionally parkour your way through the room towards the bunker.
Because I've listed myself as perky, I'd like to add an additional die.
Yes, yes, absolutely.
Amazing.
I got a 1 and a 5.
1 and a 5. Okay, so well, either way, that works perfectly.
Yes.
Okay, so Sophie, you sort of like begin your frantic kind of bolt across the length of this floor. Like the floor of the building of this place has never felt so long. This is a hearty hundreds of meters kind of dash from one end of the room to the other. Will, I'm probably going to need the same from you.
Great. Let's give it a go.
Yeah, overhead. A 4, you needed to roll heart to roll over. So yeah, you are fine as well. So the two of you, young whippersnappers, fast dashes are a-okay. So the two of you are bolting towards it, and it looks like you're able to get back into the bunker. Meanwhile, Roger and Ernie. So Ernie, you've been chomped. Roger, you're sort of like trying to hold Deirdre in place. What's Ernie doing?
He just wants to kill this troll big time.
Yeah.
He's also aware that he has been bitten. And whilst he's aware that he's not going to become a zombie, he doesn't really know, because he's not a scientist, 1, how long this takes, 2, when or how, or if he has any choice in the matter, but he knows that being bitten by one of those things is likely that he'll become one of those things eventually. And he doesn't like that. And these questions are starting to pile on his head. And but then he's also not sure, because he knows enough about vampire lore to be like, but do I need to drink it first? Like, what? No, that can't be what. So he's like really confused, as if this is like the end. And I think that's like part of Foundation's job, right? Is figuring out those questions. But he is not a scientist, so he does not know. So because of that, he's more concerned about what that might cause for everyone else. So he is going to use his last ditch attempt, as he is probably bleeding quite badly if he's been chomped on the thigh, to just grab he's still got the chair leg. He's just gonna hit Deirdre again. He's gonna ignore Roger.
Okay. It sounds quite passionate. It is quite passionate. Yeah.
I'm
gonna need a heart roll.
Okay. I'm going to argue, as someone who used to do security officer work, that I could have another D6.
Yeah.
And we'll see if I can get a heart roll, which is over 5.
Yeah.
I got a 5. I love getting 5s today. This is great.
You're very lucky.
I've got a lot of 5s.
Okay. You managed to. So you've got the chair leg in hand, and like time slows as you sort of like Deirdre's distracted by Roger, and time slows as like your hand comes up with this improvised stake in hand as you sort of lean in and sort of lunge towards Deirdre. Roger, what are you doing?
I think at this moment he's in his head. Obviously, he's there going, "Stop!" He sees it happening. I think he's just going to say, "No!" As he watches it happen, because there's no stopping that, is there? So this Deirdre's well past her sell by date, but he's going to be utterly upset by this.
Okay. In which case, if you're kind of not providing any doing anything to stop it, Ernie, like the stake strikes true roughly over, like pretty much where the cracked ribs from your first attack struck, and the stake pierces into Deirdre's chest as you kind of launch yourself at her, throwing your full weight, knowing that you can't hold yourself up on your wounded leg. And as you land on her, what happens to Deirdre as the stake pierces into her heart?
I think she just like gives out a horrendous wounded frawl noise. It's like, and just becomes limp underneath him.
There is the unlife behind her large black glossy eyes kind of fades away as she goes limp under you, and her head rolls to the side, her jaw kind of sloughing down, and her scream mirrored only by Roger immediately your side. And as this happens, you hear, like, you can see chunks of the ceiling beginning to break under the pressure of the collapsing, the floors overhead collapsing. You know you are moments away from being crushed. You can see that Will and Sophie have left you in the dust and are almost at the bunker door. Roger, you can react first. What are you doing?
He immediately springs to Deirdre's side. "It's all right. It's all right. It's okay." He starts sobbing before looking up at Ernie and saying, "Go. Get out of here." He said, "They will be able to help you. Just leave me, please." Deirdre. And
what do you mean I've been bitten? What do you mean they're going to be able to help me? Why are you staying, you weird man?
And he just turns around and says, "Go! Go!"
Are you going, Ernie?
Yeah, okay.
Are you going? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to need that. We're going to need that heart pumping at full capacity to get that blood flowing around. I'm going to need a heart roll. Have you got anything to help you in this endeavor?
Only my background as someone who is fit and active.
Surely, Roger's impassioned shouts of encouragement will help towards this.
Roger, give me a heart roll.
Okay.
You can boost it up like a heart help roll. You have to see if you've got any statements to help boost this up.
I don't have any. I mean, other than his impassioned friend. I'm looking at it this way. His impassioned friendship towards this thrall has heightened his emotions, and therefore, by him screaming to Ernie, "Go!" it's like his way of being like, "Look, you've done this. I'll deal with this shit. Just get out of there."
Okay.
It's one dice in it. Heart roll.
I think we can argue that you are prepared somehow. So let's go for a second dice. A 2 dice heart roll to see if you can help Ernie.
Okay.
You need to roll over. Okay, so Ernie, you are paused for a moment as Roger grabs your wrist, looks deep into your eyes, and what do you say to Roger? What do you say to Ernie in this?
In this moment, he just says, "Go. They will help you. Go."
And Ernie, you are shoved. It gives you a bit of a boost to kind of get you off. The adrenaline is pumping. You can feel your legs searing with pain. But like the fight or flight has truly kicked in. As you're bolting towards this bunker door, you can see that Sophie and Will have sort of like reached the threshold of the bunker. They've turned to look, and they can see you running down towards them. But as you're running towards them, you can also see the doorway, like the door to the stairwell that leads to this archive room, and you see a good 3 or 4 more thrallers appearing, drawn by the sounds of the riotous screams. Ernie, I need a heart roll, please, mate.
Okay.
You get +1 dice for Roger helping.
Okay.
You get +1 dice because you're military.
Okay. Let's do this.
You need over a 5.
I got a 6.
You as you head down, charge across this room. There's chunks of ceiling falling from the chunks of rock falling from the ceiling. You have to stop for a moment as a large kind of one of the bookcases knocks itself over in front of you. Like pushing through the pain, you clamber over it. Will, Sophie, you watch as Ernie, inexplicably, as this old as hell man just books it across this room and makes it to the bunker doors. And as the 3 of you kind of throw yourselves in, I'm going to need, between the 3 of you, I'm going to need one final heart roll to pull this door shut before the building collapses on you. So it's 3 rolls, 3 chances for success.
Okay, who wants to go first?
My rolls have been sucking, so I feel like I should go first just a second.
Okay.
Can I add my perky again?
You can indeed.
Cool.
So we need over a 4.
I got a 4.
Okay. So as you the 3 of you throw yourselves into the bunker, Sophie, you kind of pull the bunker door shut I'm imagining it as like one of those big circular kind of bank vault type doors, and as that slams shut and you kind of turn the levers, you see the large metal locks kind of slot into place. And as the sounds of the building above you, as 7 floors of building collapse down in and around you, the lights cut one final time. You find yourselves in a dark, dusty room. There is 1 bed, 1 desk. It is utilitarian, to say the very least. And notably, there is no timekeeping devices in the room. Your phones function as clocks until their batteries run out. The power gives out sometime after the sole bulb in the room turning off. And the 3 of you find yourselves in this kind of small room for who knows how long. The last kind of vivid memories etched on your minds of being Roger cradling a thrall before disappearing under a building's worth of rubble. And as time loses all meaning in this dark place, what does Will do to pass the time?
I imagine once he's calmed down a little bit, he's just asking them like a load of questions. Like, actually, he's like genuinely interested now. I'm like, what the hell was that? Like, you guys have been working here for ages. Tell me exactly what's going on. Like, tell me all the stories about vampires and stuff. Fine, I'll believe it. I've just seen someone romancing one. I want to know what kind of place this is. Just tell me all the stories. Answer all my weird questions.
So,
Like,
Will delves into deep cut Holmwood Foundation lore.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Ernie is happy to provide, by the way.
Amazing.
Happy
What is
to
Sophie?
provide.
What is Sophie doing in these moments?
Sophie, in an attempt to involve herself in other people's drama to take her mind off her own, reads every single page of Arthur's notebook. Even the mundane ones, even the ones that are just like a page of doodles. Like, she pores over every page and then starts adding her own to it.
Okay. And what's Ernie doing besides schooling Will?
Making sure I don't bleed out. With I'm hoping Sophie's first aid kit. See, it was useful that we didn't use it the first time.
That's true.
That's true. And probably maybe quizzing Sophie on specific questions about vampire bits, just to make sure that, and like, if anything does happen to we, you have lots of permission to kill me, but I think we're fine because I didn't drink any blood. That's the vampire thing. You know, from the usual stuff I understand. Yeah, but it hurts. It does. It really hurts. She was creepy. So, and yeah, just laying lots of Mina Harker lore because she is his specialist subject. But for Will's benefit, you start to think that maybe most of it is bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Like the lore, like the Holmwood stuff, you're like, yeah, okay, that makes sense. I've just seen all this. But when Ernie starts talking about Mina Harker specifically, you're like, yeah, that guy is a bit obsessed. That sounds like stuff people have made up and put on Wikipedia or like something like that. But some of that doesn't feel like that could possibly be true.
Okay. In which case, as you find yourselves in this space, every time Ernie grunts in pain, you wonder if he's turning or not. Every time you hear sounds beyond the bunker door, you wonder if the structural integrity of this room you find yourself in will hold. There comes a moment when you hear, it sounds distant at first, like a sound of a large moth beating its enormous wings. And slowly, the sounds gets louder and louder until you recognize it not as a giant moth come to finish you off, but instead as a sound of industrial machinery. It's a pneumatic drill drilling into the earth around you. And as it gets louder and louder, it's eventually joined by a growing chorus of voices as you pick out the sounds of the relief workers working tirelessly to excavate the ruins of the Lucy Westenra building. And after existing in a timeless place, before long, you find yourself buffeted by a ray of sunlight as you hear the deadbolts on your bunker unlock from the other side, and as the door swings open, you are met with beams of sunlight and high vis. And as the three of you are pulled out of the emergency bunker to a seeming wasteland of ruin and rubble, you are roughly pulled and kind of pushed out of the wreckage of the Westenra building before your two waiting ambulance crews. You can see a number of suited Foundation staff standing around. You see what appear to be workers dressed in gas company overalls interspersed between them. And as you're asked if you're okay by paramedics whose voices sound muffled and underwater, before long the three of you are bundled into the ambulances and driven away from the Westenra building. And with that, you finally have a chance to take a deep breath and acknowledge that you have escaped. And as the three of you look to one another, your ears ring from the loud sounds that you've been suddenly exposed to. We pan down to the small black diary held in Sophie's hands, taken from Arthur Jones's office. And as we fade to black, I apologise if that screws with Theo and George's plot lines for season 2 or 3. But congratulations, the three of you have survived the Holmwood Foundation Containment Breach.
Yay! Pouring one out for Roger.
Poor Roger. Strange Roger. Oh wow.
Thank you everyone for playing. Thank you everyone for watching. Apologies that ran on a smidge longer than I'd anticipated, but I'm massively grateful for everyone that's kind of stuck through with us through to the end. Thank you to the raiders over on Twitch. Your raid was very greatly appreciated, and thank you everyone on YouTube for tuning in as well. A round of applause for these four for giving it a good go, and 3 out of 4 was much better than I was anticipating.
Yeah, when we had the sister's voice, I was like, oh no, time to die. But we did not. Poor Miss Smith. Poor Roger.
Poor Ms. Smith.
Sorry for nearly killing you, Ernie.
Yeah, thanks again.
So,
you have to go.
if you have gotten to this point and if you found yourself wondering what on earth this was all about, I would heartily suggest you have a look at the Holmwood Foundation's Season 2 Kickstarter, which is now live. It's only a couple of days in, but Theo and Georgia have created something incredible, and we would absolutely love to see the second season fulfill its Kickstarter goal. But we absolutely need all of your support to make that a reality, because Basil and Candice here are just gonna be destitute if the second season doesn't make it into production. What are they gonna do? Just think of Basil and Candice.
Think of Basil and Candice. It's true. Think of Basil and Candice and Benji. Don't think about me.
Yeah,
don't think about me at all. Think about those. Genuinely speaking, the joy of making Holmwood is to be able to create roles for people that is their profession. So I've been able to give Candice the wonderful Magdalena to play with. I've been able to give Basil Tom. Benji's been able to deal with all these lovely voices. It's a pleasure to give work to people who are passionate about their craft, and we just really love this series. We love Dracula, we love associated media, we love vampires, and I think hopefully we've done this wonderful homage to the book while bringing something new to it too. It's obviously very queer. The lead Maddie is played by the wonderful Rebecca Root, who is astonishing, and we love seeing her. And obviously Sean Carlson, who plays Jeremy, who is a delight. Love to hate to love. I don't know, who knows with Jeremy, but he's so much fun to write. So thank you again. If you've found us for the first time, amazing. If you've watched this because you love season 1, amazing. If you just found us because of Explorers of Earthsware, also amazing. Also, can we please say thank you to our fantastic DM, because you were borrowing a world that was not yours, and I think it was great. I had such a good time. It was so nice to be in it. You could probably see my face every time you had a full expression. It was amazing.
What a pro!
Thank you.
What a pro!
What a guy.
So good.
Thank you.
So yeah, but the Kickstarter's live until the 14th of November. We have lots of lovely awards, including things like card decks and physical tapes. So please do check it out. We'd really, really appreciate it. And yeah, I'll let Dan finish his spiel.
Okay. Well, just before we wrap out, are there any shout-outs from anyone else? Candice, what's going on in your life?
You can find me on 3 Black Halflings. We are an intersectional podcast about nerdy stuff and POC things. We are exactly as it says, except instead of 3 black people, it's 4, because I'm here now. Our last interview was the last interview we did. We have some coming up. Kelly Lynn D'Angelo, who is big in the TTRPG and theater space. We also have an interview with Oscar Montoya from Dropout. If you've seen A Court of Fan Flowers, he's in that. Just really good. I will be doing some fundraising on this Sunday and the following Saturday for Dots, which is a charity that specializes in making Braille dice. So if you are a Brit or a UK or a European and you are a night owl, please come by and see me. Check my social for more. You can find me on Blue Sky at the Candice Marie and at Candice Magnificent everywhere else.
Amazing.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for playing. Basil, what's going? Anything else? Anything special going on for you?
Yeah, so I'm a puppeteer, puppet builder, but I'm not doing silly voices. I'm doing silly voices with puppets. So you can find me on Instagram at fopdoodles. I always make puppets for different kinds of people, and I've just set up a non-profit to get kids excited about books and storytelling and stuff using puppetry. That's at the Over There's if you're interested in sort of seeing my future plans to get kids excited about stories. Dracula might be a bit too old for my audience, but I might sneak it in there somehow. But yeah, that's kind of my day-to-day as puppet. So yeah.
Amazing. And finally, Benji, what's going on with you?
Well, firstly, shout out to the guys I play my regular D&D with, because we would be playing tonight, but they very kindly let me have some time off. And they have been watching, which is rather fun. But second, that you can find me on Instagram, Blue Sky, as La Bonge, LA_Bonge. And you can also check me out every single week on the Big Finish podcast. Big Finish, we make audio dramas for all kinds of things like Doctor Who, Blake 7, Thunderbirds, Torchwood, you name it, we've done it. And we're approaching 10 years of a weekly podcast. So do check us out on all the regular streaming things. But again, thank you so much, Dan, for what a great job tonight. Fantastic.
So
no, again, completely down to the 4 of you. You've all been amazing. Yes. With all that said, thank you all for watching. Thank you for playing. If you want to see more stuff like this, you can subscribe to Explorers of Elsewhere on YouTube. Follow us on Twitch. In our main campaign, we've got Theo and Georgia, both as amazing players in that campaign. We're currently running through a Daggerheart story. You absolutely check out the Holmwood Foundation Kickstarter. Join their Discord. Join our Discord if you want. But yeah. Once again, thank you, everyone. You've been amazing. We will see you next time. Bye.